Hey guys, and welcome to a video. Today we're going to go over my thoughts on all the melee enchantments in Minecraft dungeons. So the first one is Anima Conduit, where every time you kill an enemy and you absorb their soul, you also get a small amount of health, up to 3% health. It's a really nice healing ability, but it doesn't really do much for boss fights because there's not many, random enemies you can fight during a boss fight for this to be too, helpful. The second ability is Chains, which has a 30% chance to chain a cluster of mobs together and keep them bound for a short time. This is basically like you hit an enemy and it keeps them all stuck there for like up to 3 seconds. I don't really know what the purpose of this one is. Maybe it helps for speed running, but most of the time speed running you can just run past them. Committed is the next one here, is where you deal increased damage against already wounded enemies. This is actually one that I really like because you can get up to 0 to 100% bonus damage just because the enemy has already been damaged. So if you hit an enemy and they're not dead yet, it means the next time you hit them, you might do up to double damage, which is actually really fantastic. Critical Hit is probably one of my favorites as well here. It is a powerful ability. It's one of the most popular abilities that I've seen people use on Reddit. It gives you a chance to inflict critical hits dealing up to triple damage with a 20% chance to trigger. And you'll know when you see it because you'll see a big ass red number across your screen that has the amount of damage that you've never seen yourself do before because it's good. Critical Hit is amazing. Pair this with something where it makes you fast and you'll be a murderer. Echo is something that some of your attacks can be followed up by another attack in rapid succession. I don't really like this ability, but I haven't really tested it out too much. Basically, every 3 seconds you have a chance to have another attack hit at the same time. Exploding is a cool, powerful ability. When you kill an enemy, they can explode for up to 60% of their own health as damage to anyone around them. It's really good for where like there's a huge pack of enemies coming after you and you manage to kill one of them and they explode and they basically damage their friends. And yeah, it kind of, you can just see the kind of how the soul works. Boom, 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 like a chain reaction of explosions. Fire Aspect is something that sets mobs on fire for 3 seconds, dealing damage over time. Usually this is alright. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but it's really good early on when you're first playing the easier difficulties of the game. I'm not really sure how it is at the end game. Freezing is something that slows mobs for 3 seconds after you hit them, up to 40% reduced speed. I don't really see this as beneficial at all, to be honest, unless you're trying to kite them. Gravity is something we've seen on the armor already, and I believe it's on the bows as well. Now, this is an effect that pulls mobs towards the weapon's point of impact. So if you hit an enemy in front of you, all the enemies around them uh, like in a small radius will be pulled to that impact there, so that when you're hitting them, all your damage is being done in that one central point. And it's pretty cool if you're trying to like smash people with really slow weapons. If you don't have like really fast weapons, it's nice if you just want to hit lots of people at once, I guess. Leeching is a really cool one because defeating a mob heals you for a small portion of the mob's maximum health. This goes up to 8% of the mob's maximum health. This only happens though if you're killing them by using your melee weapon. It won't work for if you're doing it with ranged or any other kind of way. You have to kill them with your melee weapon for this leeching to happen. It's a really nice ability to get heals though. I do agree on that. Looting is one of my favorites, dude. I really like looting. Looting is something that got me through some harder things. Even though I'm such a low level and I'm pushing such a high power level, my power level is double my level right now. Like I'm pushing power level like almost 80 and I'm still like level 40. So looting was something that got me there because it increases the chance for mobs to drop consumables up to 300%, which means that you can have the strength buff potion dropping every second mob that you kill almost. It's actually more like every fifth. But you get speed, you get like the freaking strength. You just be, I really love looting, man. Just get looting. If you see looting, really don't sleep on this. It's amazing. Poison Cloud is something that's really good early on in game. I see a lot of people using it. I don't really like it. It's okay. It has a 30% chance to summon a Poison Cloud that damages enemies in that area for 3 seconds. But the damage is so slow that most of the times you're killing the enemy quicker than they can, like, for Poison Cloud to be effective. You have other ways to, be more strong. Like, imagine getting a free strength potion every 2 seconds and you're just, dealing like triple your damage anyway. Prospector lets you find more emeralds on fallen enemies. This is a 300% increased chance of emeralds. This is a nice emerald farm kind of ability. So if you're going to be doing a speed run or a speed killing like run on like lower enemies and you're trying to get emeralds so that you can, try and roll better gear, this is probably what you would use. Other than that, it's kind of pointless. Radiance is probably your best healing ability in the game. Imagine a fast weapon or even a bow or anything where you're hitting an enemy around you and it has a 20% chance to spawn a circular area that heals all allies within it. So it's kind of like when you hit an enemy, they'll like burst with like a light, and if you're near that light, you'll heal for quite a lot. Like dude, it will heal you for a lot. Like no kidding. If you upgrade this to maximum, you won't die. Like if you can hit fast enough to let this kind of like chance to like build up a lot, like with a very fast weapon, this thing is broken. Rampaging. After you defeat a mob, there is a 10% chance to increase your attack speed for 50% for a short time, up to 15 seconds. Which is okay. I'm using this, but I don't really see the benefit in it. Like, sure, I hit a little bit faster, but sometimes I don't even feel it being there. I feel like there's better abilities out there or better enchantments to be used. Personally, I actually have this one right now, but I don't really feel like the power of it. I'd prefer to use like looting or something more fun. Sharpness is something that makes your weapon sharper, causing it to deal more damage, up to 33% increased damage. This is really good for weapons that I believe have like lower damage but higher speed, to kind of like ramp up their damage a bit so that they actually become a little bit more effective by having more damage on them for a faster speed, which is actually really broken if you pair it with some other really good effects. Shockwave is a powerful ability where the last attack in a combo launches a shockwave damaging enemies. So this is like obviously every attack that you do with every weapon, it has a last kind of attack and then it repeats a cycle. I don't know if you've already noticed. If you use this ability, it will do like a shockwave that damages enemies around you with like some massive damage. It's actually quite a good ability. I haven't actually used it myself though. Smiting increases damage against the undead, up to 40% increased damage. I haven't really used this because most of the enemies are different in every different kind of instance, so I don't find this particularly useful because this is you're kind of just waiting for like zombies, I guess. And maybe skeletons. Soul Siphon, when you hit an enemy, you gain a 10% chance to grant you a bunch of extra souls, up to 9 souls. So obviously if you're using a build that relies on getting extra souls, something like this will be really good so that you can just keep up your souls for either healing or damage or whatever you're using souls for, to be honest. Stunning is something that you're probably going to use at a very high level, where it gives you a chance to temporarily stun enemies with a 15% chance to trigger. So as you're hitting enemies, you have a 15% chance to stun them so that you don't get hit back by them. So it kind of avoids you taking damage. Swirling is a powerful last attack in a combo that performs a swirling attack. So as you're hitting every end of your combo, you'll do like a spinning shoof, and basically you'll do damage to anyone around you for some extra damage. However, I've noticed that this doesn't actually hit the enemy in front of you that you're actually attacking. So if you hit an enemy, the swirl will only hit other enemies around him instead of him directly. So I find this kind of pointless for the most part in that thing, unless you're fighting lots of enemies that are surrounding you completely. Thundering has a 30% chance to summon a lightning strike that deals damage to nearby enemies. I don't really find this one too like crazy or overpowered. It's just kind of one of those enchantments that's there for, I guess you to try. I don't really like it that much. Weakening is something where your attacks decrease the attack damage of all nearby enemies for 5 seconds with a minus 40% reduced damage. This is really good at endgame where enemies are hitting you really hard and you're about to die like every 2 seconds. So this kind of weakening thing just makes it so that you're more like you have a higher chance of surviving. And those are all of our melee enchantments in Minecraft Dungeons with all of my thoughts and opinions on them. My favorites probably here are Critical Hit, Radiance for healing, Looting, which is really good. Yeah, probably if I could get those 3. If I could get Critical Hit, Radiance, and Looting, I would be a god in this game, dude. Like, I would be a monster. That would be a build that I would try. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Which ones would you use? And as always, I'll see you guys in the next Minecraft Dungeons video. Thanks for watching.